Anna has already talked a bit about how we arrived to where we are now. And I'm just going to reiterate that currently we have clinical descriptions of the phenotypes that we want to build, and using AI logic as well as literature search, we came up with those descriptions, as well as for this example we're going to be talking about today, first episode psychosis, we came up with lists of codes that are commonly used in literature, in this case ICD-10, for the conditions that we want to include or exclude from our phenotype of first episode psychosis. So just in short, we want to include psychotic disorders, schizophrenia spectrum disorders, brief affective episodes with psychotic symptoms, and we want to exclude drug-induced psychosis and organic psychotic conditions. Here is an algorithm that we're going to be replicating, and this could be a good starting point for you if you're creating your concept set from scratch. So basically, the most important point here is that it is an iterative process. So no matter where you start from, you would still need to check the codes, the concepts that are in your concept set, both standard and source. You would need to check the recommended output or Phoebe output and iterate, add any concepts that you wish to add, remove irrelevant concepts, and this way, by iteration, you would arrive at your desired concept set. And now let me switch to Atlas demo, where we're going to be doing our concept set for first episode psychosis. So here we have Atlas, and I'm going to go into the search tab right away. And as I mentioned, we are doing first episode psychosis, and one of the terms frequently found in literature is psychotic disorders. It is a psychotic disorder after all. So let's just type that in here. And I'm going to click on a shopping cart icon so that it would create a concept set for us to start with. And we're going to go to a concept set expression and see that Atlas has already found us a perfect standard concept for what we were searching for. So it is psychotic disorder with descendants. And why did it choose this one actually? It's not only because it is 100% similar semantically, but also because it is the concept with the most frequent descendant record count in Odyssey Evidence Network. And these counts are now in Atlas demo thanks to Claire Blacketer and her study. So just a shout out once again, this is a wonderful new addition. So we have our first draft of a concept set. Let's look what is actually in there. So we're going to go into the included concepts tab, and we're going to once again filter and sort via DRCs out of evidence network counts, and let's look at what we have. So first, we have codes for psychotic disorder, schizophrenia, schizoaffective disorder, other types of schizophrenia, and so on, exactly what we wanted when we were doing our clinical description and literature search. So we have other types of schizophrenia, and then we come across something that we actually would not want to see. So here we have a concept called psychosis and severe depression concurrent and due to bipolar affective disorder. So for the purpose of this study, we decided we do not want to have psychosis that are clearly attributable to other chronic conditions such as bipolar disorder here. So let's, for the time being, just take this concept. Then we're going down the line. We have other types of schizophrenia and psychosis, which is good. We want those. And then we come across something we also want to exclude. This is drug-induced psychosis. As you may remember, we mentioned that we do not want to include those in our phenotype. So let's also choose them. And we have organic psychotic conditions, something that we also know we do not want to see. So let's choose that. And opioid-induced too, because it's technically drug-induced. So for the purpose of this tutorial, I'm going to stop here. But of course, when polishing the concept set, I will want to look through other codes as well. So what we want to do with those, we are going to go down and exclude them as well as their descendants. I'm going to click Add. And now when I go to concept set expression, I see our initial code psychotic disorder, as well as those that we decided to exclude. What we're going to do now is we're going to go to the Recommend tab and look at what Atlas recommends to us. So basically, Atlas has some good machinery to recommend you concepts based on several types of relationships. Let's explore patient context first. So what does it mean? Patient context is a group of codes that are frequently co-occurrent to what you already have included. So what we have here, we have dementia, we have different disturbances of consciousness, altered mental status, dementia, neurosis, delirium, suicidal thoughts. All of those things are really co-occurring with psychosis frequently. We know that. However, we also know that we don't want them in our phenotype. And then going downwards, we see hallucinations. So hallucinations is definitely a symptom of psychosis. However, it is a very, very broad term. And for the purposes of our study, we do not want to include them because they would also mean lots of other diseases. They can occur in many other disorders. However, after them, we have delusional disorder. This is actually an umbrella term for a group of actual nosologies, disorders, basically, which we do want to include into our phenotype. And why do we know it? Because we did clinical description and literature search. So let's, for the time being, choose it. Go downwards, click on descendants, and add them to our concept set. So what changed here? We have everything we had previously, as well as delusional disorders with descendants. Let's explore, for now, other types of relationships we have here. So there are different types of lexical matches via standard codes and source codes, which is what it says. It's lexical comparisons, as well as searches through ontology, basically the parents of the codes you have and the descendants of the codes you have. So once again, I'm going to stop my search through the Recommend tab right here. But when creating and polishing the final concept set, of course, we would need to look into that in more detail. And so now what we could do is we could check the included source codes that we have in our set right now. So as you may remember, in the clinical description, we had some ICD-10 codes, and it is a terminology many of us are probably very familiar with, so let's limit our search right now to only them and look at them. So we would be rather happy here because we have what we really wanted to see. We see different types of schizophrenia, all those F2X codes right here up to F29. However, you may also remember that we wanted to include some other codes into our phenotype. Those were brief affective episodes, manic and depressive, with psychotic features. So how would we add them here? Let's go into the search tab. And one of the codes that was found in the literature is F30.2. So let's just type it in search. And we know it is an ICD-10 code, so only ICD-10. And here we have it. It's mania with psychotic symptoms, however, it is non-standard. And we are working with standard to facilitate network research, so let's go here. And let's go to its related concepts and choose a non-standard to standard relationship. So here we have our brand new standard mania with psychotic features concept. We can tick it and edit to our concept set with descendants. So let's do that. However, I want to stay on this page for a bit because actually I have a question. Why didn't we have it in our concept set to begin with? Well, the answer is that if we go into its hierarchy, we can see that when all other codes were in the psychotic disorders hierarchy, this one is actually in mania hierarchy. Its parent is called mania. So it is a totally different branch of hierarchy of psychiatric disorders, basically, in our vocabularies, and that is the reason why we didn't have it in the first place. So right now, our concept set looks like this. We have what we started with. We have some exclusions. We have uh, other additions from recommend tab and from search. And this is where I'm gonna stop this tutorial for now. However, as I said, you would want to look through other recommendations and possible exclusions too. And I'm gonna pass microphone later. Yeah, thank you.